Hi everyone, what is up? You are watching my channel Boomy Reactions and I'm Boomy. So today we're going to be watching Ren's Dominoes, as so many of you have requested I listen to and react to. Thank you, by the way. Any more suggestions are much appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, I have no idea what Dominoes could be about. It's very inconspicuous, mysterious. The title doesn't give much away. Is it something to do with a game? I'm thinking of the game Dominoes. I don't know. So we'll just have to watch it and see. Just a quick mention, thank you for everyone for liking and subscribing to this channel. It's massively helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Sending much love. So thank you again. Let's jump straight into the video. Oh, it sounds kind of sad.
Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling.
Okay.
Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. You build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. So bleed me of all my self-belief. My smile shows all my insecurity. In a kingdom of photoshopped kings and queens will never feel happy with ourselves, but insecurity sells. Dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Oh, you built us like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. You build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. I hide my head.
Sorry to cut Ren off there. Okay, there's our dominoes. Okay, so we're being built up to be pushed back down, to get knocked down, like dominoes. First thing that struck me, one of the opening lines there, which I thought was very clever. Insecure teeth. Teeth. We're all insecure about our teeth, aren't we? Insecure teeth. I thought that was very clever. I like that. And then, is it maybe one of the third or fourth lines? Insecurity sells. I hate that phrase. And we hear it far more than we'd like, I think. And it's very unfortunate that it's true. It does sell, doesn't it? There are multi-million pound industries that profit and capitalize on our insecurities. And it's horrendous. It makes me sick. I can't stand it. And yet I'm complicit. I buy into, these beauty trends. I try them just as much as anyone else. I buy magazines. I compare myself to models and whatnot that I see on TV. So I comply. I'm just as much of a problem, unfortunately. So yeah, hang on, let's carry on.
I hide my head under the sheets. Cause how can I face a world that ridicules the weak? Where beauty is sold on the shelves, forbid that we find it in ourselves. And now I'm broke, it don't come cheap. Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. You build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling.
So yeah, there is another line that was spoken here in the previous verse. So he's broke, and we know this industry costs us so much money, and it just seems like a bit of a nonsensical paradox, really, doesn't it? So it costs us so much money to compare ourselves to other people, to feel like shit, basically, in the process. That's crazy. And it's only really when this is highlighted to us, I think we really stop and think about how crazy this actually is. So it just perpetuates this endless cycle, the need for validity and acceptance for our appearance. And that process makes us feel horrendous. It makes us feel ugly and unaccepted. And it just carries on. Yeah. Okay. Let's carry on.
Like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Araya was the most beautiful girl in this world. She shined like diamonds and rubies and pearls. But then, as soon as she turned 13, she forgot just how bright that it was that she gleamed. Stuck in the material world of magazines that glamorise fake and Photoshop beauty queens. Top 10 beauty tips making her feel inadequate. For the first time in her life, she felt ugly. So Araya stopped eating to lose weight. She spent her dinner money on some makeup for her face. But no matter how much she lost or how much she bought, she was never good enough, or so she thought. Araya felt she could never be loved. She started cutting her wrists and hiding her scars with gloves. At 16, an anorexic beauty queen, she collapses in a puddle of her tears and blood. Cause she never felt enough, she never felt enough. Your sellers told this lie that we must buy to keep in touch. We can never buy enough, never buy enough. All the riches in the world can't buy a sense of self-love. Funny how you act surprised when depression's levels rise, when you force feed inadequacy straight into our eyes. Television shows that praise the beautiful people, and talent competitions that just laugh at the feeble. Billboards, magazines, people turn to plasticine, molded like a factory. We're growing up to fear feeling ugly. It's lunacy, and not even a community. Cause insecurity breeds judgment, judgment breeds hate, no unity. And hierarchy based upon aesthetics is what makes a kid in school get bullied for genetics. And I felt so ugly growing up. The way that I look sometimes got me beaten up. I mean, what the fuck sort of culture do we live in, when we're defined by the shape of our face, when we're ashamed by the size of our waist, when we're imprisoned by the form that we take? And so we keep buying and spending. That's just how this story goes. You build us up just to knock us back down, and we just keep falling like dominoes.
Oh, Arya. Arya, I think I said that. Arya. Oh my gosh, how sad. 13 years old, and she just stopped seeing her value. She started looking at herself differently and starts seeing herself as ugly and comparing herself to these impossible, unobtainable standards of the beauty industry. Ah, that that does touch a nerve with me. Obviously, I think everyone has at some point in their life been through these periods in their life when they start to question their physical appearance and they start to really compare themselves to other people. And it just, gosh, it brings you down. And it just seems impossible. I think that's the feeling of hopelessness as well. Uh, Later on, Ren mentions that this character, Arya, she's overwhelmed by these feelings and she actually starts cutting herself. Um, Gosh, it's horrible. It's so horrible, isn't it? So I suppose it's the feeling of hopelessness. It's that you're chasing those impossible standards. Maybe at first you have that little glimmer of hope that maybe you can change your appearance to fit in with what this industry is telling us is acceptable and attractive. But very quickly, once you maybe do something about some element of your appearance that you're not very happy with, even if you become happy with that element, there will be other things that you start to fixate on and you start to think, actually, I don't like this. None of these models have this, my nose isn't the same shape as theirs. I'm I'm bigger. My waist is bigger. And it's like Ren says, you'll never be able to buy that feeling of self-love. You might think that you can obtain it in the short term, but you will constantly be chasing it. And I think that's why these industries are so lucrative and they really capitalize in, like lyrics say, insecurity sells. It's capitalizing on our insecurities. But we just keep perpetuating this cycle. We just keep feeding into it. It's awful. And how do we stop? Um, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I I guess maybe if we had more acceptance of ourselves, if we were all brought up with a little bit more self-love and better self-esteem. But I mean, to my knowledge, there's no handbook that tells parents how to bring up their kids to armor themselves with these skills. So I don't know what the answer is to this. It's very sad. Um, there's a lot of lyrics in Ari's story that really grabbed my attention, really hit me quite hard. Um, if you force feed inadequacies into our eyes, did I get that lyric right? It's something around something words to the effect of, so these beauty industries and whatnot, I feel that they present these inadequacies to us. So it's kind of highlighting problems that we never even really thought of. So, like, for example, I would never really bother about the shape of my ears growing up. So I never really thought, oh, they're a funny shape, or oh, they're too big. But all of a sudden, I might become more aware of it as I become an adult and I start to like read articles about what your ear shape says about you, or something silly like that. And it's just drawing attention to these qualities that all of a sudden you're being told they're not good enough. Actually, this makes you unattractive. But you could have gone the rest of your life not being told that and never bat an eyelid and think about your ears. I think that's what that lyric that's how that really speaks to me, and it's awful. This I can't stand. I can't stand this within these industries making us feel this way, guys. It really hits a nerve. It's a trigger. There was another comparison, not so much comparison. There was one of the lyrics that started talking about talent competitions. So we all know them. That praise the talented, but the entertainment element of these programs or these competitions isn't just to praise the talented so much as to ridicule the other participants who maybe are less talented or don't have this particular talent that this competition is looking for. But not only that, it's presenting this to us as a form of entertainment. So we're conditioned to laugh at the inadequacies, at the people that don't necessarily have these talents. And I think maybe from a young age, we're actually being conditioned to believe that no, that's not good enough. That's hilarious that you can't sing, or that you can't dance, and that's really sad. But again, that was my takeaway from that. Also, I think it was within the Arya story. He says, people are turned to plasticine. So I really like this metaphor. It's very true. Um, it's comparing us to a material that's malleable, manipulated, moldable. And who is molding us? The entertainment industry, the beauty industries, and that that riles me. I don't like being thought of as easily manipulated, so that really strikes at me. Maybe that's the point. I think this is another example of Ren trying to draw our attention to the inequalities surrounding these issues within these industries and what the reality is, what they're actually trying to do. And ultimately, it's to capitalize on our insecurities. And it's how conditioned we are. Just look, oh, it does. It hits a nerve. Um, like I said before, we've all had experiences of going through periods in our life where we just don't feel that we meet the beauty standards that we see day in and day out. I would prefer to say that my experiences, which in some ways are slightly similar to Arya's, I would prefer to say that that's a standalone experience, that I'm a one off. Sure, there are people that can identify with that, but it's an isolated experience. But the sad reality is that I think it's much more common than uncommon. So I think a lot of people go through these experiences to the point where my example, for example, my experience, for example, isn't rare. It's actually very common. So it becomes less, I don't know, like the emphasis is taken away from it because it's actually everyone experiences this. So, why bother complaining about it? This is a normal thing. Everyone feels inadequate about their appearance at some point, which I think is the most sad thing about Arya's story, is that maybe we lose a little bit of empathy because we've personally all been through that, but it's everybody else goes through that as well. And it shouldn't be like that. Do you know what I mean? We should, we should, I don't know, just kind of right. We should rally up. We should wake up and realize, actually, no, this isn't good enough. We're not prepared to be meant to feel like this. There's got to be another way. Anyway, I think I'm waffling right now. There was another line that I thought was really impactful: a knife in the community. I think Ren is talking about how the insecurities breed judgment, and the judgment breeds hate, and it's so dangerous to our security as people and to our mental welfare that Ren describes it as a knife in the community. And that's really strong. That's really meaningful. I love that. And how abrupt the ending of this song is, I found quite meaningful. Like, I was expecting Ren to go into another chorus, but no, that's the end of the song. That's what Ren wants our takeaway to be. There's no cheerful chorus coming back. That's it. That's what the last thing you've heard, that's what you're going to go away and that's going to stay with you. And I like that. I thought that was effective. That's yeah, that's definitely worked with me. That's my takeaway. I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to this song. I have I have a habit of breaking down lyrics to find deeper meanings within songs, but it's just so easy with Ren. His lyrics are so purposeful and they're so intricate, they're so detailed. I refuse to believe there's not deeper meaning behind these lyrics, and I love finding them. And if I've missed anything, guys, anything that you picked up on that I completely missed, please let me know in the comments. It's so interesting reading your comments. So please feel free, let me know. And any other recommendations are always welcome. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.